Today, I want to talk about the mutual fund industry. The mutual fund industry is in terrible trouble. There has been continuous equity market outflows for the last several months. March is the only month which saw positive equity flow into the market. And April has not been a pretty month for mutual funds, and there have been huge losses. One can expect the outflows from mutual funds to start in April once again. In this trouble scenario, there seems to be an exodus of people leaving one particular fund. Let us look at it. Welcome back to Be Rich. The fund I want to talk about today is Franklin Templeton. Franklin Templeton is one of the oldest funds in India. They were one of the first foreign companies to set up an AMC in India, and they took over Kotari Pioneer Mutual Fund, which was a very successful equity fund running back those days. And because of that work for a long time, they were running this fund out of Madras, which is completely rare for any mutual fund. The fund had been going from strength to strength and become one of the largest AMCs in India. Their debt market funds have been doing extremely well because they have been using a very aggressive strategy in lending. But all good things have to come to an end. And because they were taking big risks, when the market sunk and credit market froze during last 2 years, it meant four of their funds had to be shuttered. The funds were shuttered basically because the money they had lent out was not coming in. There were several irregularities that several officers have detected, that they were the only subscribers to several issues. And in short term funds, they had taken assets which had long term return of money. There was blatant violation, and SEBI was sleeping over it, and so was the committee that was supposed to oversee Franklin's investment strategies. But as long as the going was good and the asset manager was giving superior returns to other funds, everybody was happy, and distributor means the funds were selling at hotcakes. Any murmur of dissent against this fund manager was crushed, and the results were doing well. But like in markets at all times, when things turned bad, the herd stampedes in the other direction. In this case, even before the fund could publicly announce they were in trouble, senior insiders who had put their family fortune in that, including the former head of CRISIL, her spouse's money was all withdrawn very rapidly, and even before the fund could be shuttered at high net asset valuations, the insiders encashed the money. After the insiders encashed their substantial portion of the money, the fund was shuttered, and four funds were shuttered and closed. Franklin Templeton has said that they will recover the money, pay out all the unit holders. But there has been trouble ever since, and Franklin Templeton has less than been clean on this. The foreign parent of this company, though would have come to know only about this crisis later, should have acted in a more responsible manner. And the matter was only $3 billion, and the fund could have taken the hit. When the regulators started to exert pressure, the foreign parent used American diplomatic channels to pressurize the Indian government. But this had rebuff from the investors, and the investors started to push for a police investigation. In recent times, State Bank of India mutual fund was authorized to redistribute the capital collected. Still, substantial portion of the money is still unreturned in most funds. In such a situation, the morale in Franklin Templeton AMC is very poor. Even though the problem to the funds was only in these four cases, even the equity funds and all funds have seen a continuous outflow from the mutual funds. The all funds in total have lost to 30% of their money, and people don't seem to trust Franklin Templeton anymore. And since this has happened, there has been pressure on staff to perform. Most of the staff have started to leave, though the market is not talking about it. Informal sources tell us that more than 50 senior executives have left Franklin Templeton and are looking for greener pastures. The most shocking of it is Preston Dastur. Preston Dastur is the national sales director of Franklin Templeton, and he has left. Reportedly, Peston Dastur is going to join UTA and become the sales director. Not only that, nearly all the senior sales staff have left. Franklin Templeton is put on a very brave face and said, since there are some departures as a result of restructuring in our local distribution and allied teams in 2020, so therefore, even Franklin Templeton seems to have let go of most people. Franklin Templeton comes from a storied background. They bought all the funds of the late Sir John Templeton. John Templeton is considered one of the gurus of investing and were nearly invested for 100 years in the last century. He saw the Great Depression in 1939 to 1945 and lived up to the point of the great tech crash of 2000, and he shorted the market in 2000. John Templeton was one of the first fund managers in the United States who started investing abroad. Most of Sir John Templeton's money was made by investing US money abroad, and thus he knew most markets well. So, with coming from such pedigreed parentage, one expected Franklin Templeton to be clear and behave in a manner above board. It would have been easier for Franklin Templeton to take a hit on their balance sheet and pay off their Indian customers outright in first year. The losses would have been $3 billion. The confidence of the customer would have remained. Such top level exits wouldn't have happened, and most of the money would have been recovered. Already half the money has been recovered, and by the time the game is through, more than 80% of the money would have been come out. That means for a loss of $600 million, Franklin Templeton would have saved India, their reputation in India, which they have completely lost. Sometimes big companies don't learn lessons. Remember the lesson from Intel's Pentium fiasco when there was a problem which affected less than 0.5% of total Pentium chips. But since the image was going bad, Andy Grove decided to replace everybody who wanted the chip replaced, and that gave Intel a great name and saved the day. Franklin Templeton could have done something like that. They failed to do so, and now they are paying the price for it. Thank you for watching. Be rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.